So speaking of serving a little time, this is a story that was trending a lot of time. Yeah. You may have heard this name, Alice Marie Johnson. I just pulled up her picture. You may have heard that President Trump actually commuted the sentence of a woman who was in jail for drug charges. She was sentenced she's already served 21 years, so she's been in jail since 1996 on drug charges. Now, it was a non-violent drug offense, and this was a first-time offender, and he commuted her sentence. You may have seen the pictures last week, and I keep thinking of the New York Daily or something. You guys remember that picture, that iconic headline of Kim Kardashian? And yes, it was called Trump meets Rump.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Google that real quick.
Or the only Kim that Trump could get an interview
There were
with, referring to Kim Jong-un.
It was the New York Daily News.
That's funny. They're funny with the headlines. So we saw her there last week, and she was championing criminal justice reform, and then Trump commuted the sentence of, her name is Alice Marie Johnson. So people are talking about that. I think the question is, how are we feeling about that? She was a first-time nonviolent drug offender. But when I was working on this story, another thing that caught my attention was that even when she tried to get her sentence commuted or, her case heard by the president under the Obama administration, they had so much reservation that they didn't do it because she was moving a lot, what we call a lot of weight, a lot of cocaine. Traveled through her house. So I don't know the whole backstory. I don't know if she has just been like this drug lord serving as this sweet granny, but she served 21 years in prison. So I want to know more about.
Was 21 years enough in your eyes? Did she need a life sentence? And how do you feel about Kim Kardashian being involved in all of this?
I think the amount of drugs is somewhere around 70 kilos cocaine. That's a lot. But again,
and that's what she got caught with.
Right.
She did. But you think about, in the grand scheme of things, was she a major player?
70 kilos?
I'm wondering, was she a major player in a specific drug ring and they were trying to get to somebody even higher? And is that why she was used as a pawn in this? I don't know. I don't know her background, but 20 years for trafficking a drug seems like a lot of time for me.
So you think seems like enough? The life sentence was not necessary?
I don't think it ever should have gotten to a life sentence.
I see both sides of this issue. Growing up where I grew up, and I say it all the time, we grew up poor. A lot of people, I didn't see a lot of people having jobs. I saw a lot of drugs and crime in my community. So to me, it's like you're peddling poison to your community. How dare you? You are killing people and you are starving babies because addicts won't feed their children, they'll go get their next high. So I have that's my own personal story. So my opinion is interjected, like, how dare you hurt our community like that? But I am happy to see that there is some movement in criminal justice reform, because I'd like to believe that I'm a proponent for that, but I am not here for people poisoning our community.
I agree with that. And then I think about all of the narco-related Netflix shows that I've ever watched, and usually drug trafficking doesn't come without its amount of murder and its illegal ties to gangs. And maybe, I don't know, I'm just speculating here. Maybe there was more to the case than just these drugs and they just pulled her in on the drugs. Who knows? I don't know.
Why do we think Kim Kardashian
cared the question
enough? Not to say that she's not a caring person, but what do you think it was in that situation? She's married to Kanye West.
You want my real thoughts?
Yeah, I want your real thoughts. I thought it was random and kind of interesting, but also applauding her for having a mission, getting an interview, or not even an interview, a meeting with the president of the United States of America. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can do that, and the president's not going to listen to everyone and then do what they've asked him to do.
So except when she's married to Kanye
Trump
West.
utilizing the opportunity, or is this Kim Kardashian utilizing her platform?
This is finna be some tea. What do y'all think before I go in on my conspiracy theory?
Jackie Birch says she's wondering why Kim Kardashian got involved in the first place. She agrees that, and then going back to the first one, life sentence was too much for a first-time offender. She's seen murderers and molesters get way less.
Absolutely.
Right.
Paul Patsy Mesa. Tell us, Mesa. This is my Auntie Patsy.
Oh,
She
hi.
says, Trump/rump issue makes me ill. Kanye and Kim are POTUS buddies. She should have stayed in jail longer, maybe a retrial.
Interesting. I would
So
say,
she's going kind of to, you said you want to get into some
I know. I
conspiracy?
think life, because when I look at the statistics on drug charges, there is a history of black and brown offenders having stiffer sentences. Like maybe, that's where you could bring the race into the issue. Like historically, white offenders don't get the same sentences as black and brown offenders.
I
know that that's real.
Yesterday.
Exactly. Right. But then again, it goes to that conversation I had talked about yesterday with my little cousins. It was like, if you out here in these streets running dope, that's what we call it. If you running dope, understand, they're not going to give you a lighter sentence like your friends. You're going to get all of the sentence. Don't think that you coming out. You get caught, you are going down, and it's not worth it. They may have an indiscretion. They may get out. They may get a shorter sentence, but you're getting all the time, and that's just the mentality.
Be aware of
that
your place
we need.
in society.
Exactly. So this is what with Kim Kardashian, I think we just had maybe like a couple of weeks ago, Kanye West said something about black people were to blame for slavery. Like, you know, it was our fault that we were slaves. I feel like they needed a black win right here, and they found someone to champion their cause. They took it to the president. Not only does the president look like a winner, but so do the Kardashians and the West. And it's like,
see? She gets out of jail after 21 years.
And Kim Kardashian is a proponent for criminal justice, and we don't remember all of the other things that
But are we hating on her how about her family? Let's talk about the woman who got out of jail, her family. Do we come down on Kim Kardashian for utilizing her platform for whatever her intention was? Either way, she got a great-grandmother out of jail, and someone's family is complete today.
Well, here's an interesting thing. She brings attention to a subject that people spend their whole lives on, which is criminal justice reform. A lot of people think that it's out of whack. It's disproportionate based on race, based on location, based on certain judges. What the judgment handed down is very uneven. I think we can all agree with that. And so what they tried to do to even this out back in the day, I remember this being a California kid, is there was a lot of crime in the 80s and 90s. There's a governor, he said 3 strikes you're out. It makes sense to people. You have 3 felonies, then you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. So that's a way of like, I don't care who you are, if you do this, it's going to happen. But then you started to get some of these situations, these mandatory minimum sentences where when you look at the totality of their reign of crime, it actually ends up being quite a bit different than, say, other career criminals, so to speak. So once you actually dive into the details of these individuals, what they did, and what they're serving, you still end up with the same sort of unevenness. Why is she for that? I mean, that's a lot. We don't know all the details, but we know enough to say a life sentence for trafficking drugs. That seems like a lot, but we don't really know. What are the mandatory minimums in that state, in Georgia? I don't know. But I will say that the word clemency and criminal justice reform is something that everyone's going to be talking about, whether it's Kim Kardashian or us at this table or you in the comments, because you think about all the people in jail right now, in prison, that have been there for a long time for weed, and now weed is legal. So now they're in prison. They're in prison, looking out while there's millionaires being made every day in California by selling the same thing that they're spending decades, if not life, in jail for trafficking. And that's the weirdness of this whole world that we live in, is that one time it's the worst thing in the world, and then 2 decades later it's very commonplace. And so how do you rectify it? How do you try and figure out what's fair and what isn't fair? And I don't know the answer to that. I just know that it's a weird situation.
Here's another weird situation really quickly. Last year, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, stiffened penalties on these offenses. So for Donald Trump to go through and grant clemency to or commute the sentence of this young lady, we got to remember wording, legal jargon.
Which I'm not sure. I mean,
so you got to really think about it, because they have strengthened the penalty, and they've gotten more harsh on these first-time nonviolent offenders, and then going around, they're going to commute this woman's sentence. Do we think, and we asked the question, sound off, let us know, do you think that this is going to turn the tide in the administration? Are they going to be softer with these things? Or was it just like, oh, we got one out, that's all y'all get?
So Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she addressed this, I think it was yesterday, saying that he is President Trump, who has been adamant about cracking down on drug trafficking, is not lightening up on this at all. This was just one particular case that is a carryover from the Obama administration, that he saw an opportunity to, give clemency?
Commute
the sentence. So I think, and I'm going with, who said this?
James A. Cooper?
No, Jackie Birch.
Okay,
she says, unfortunately, the Kardashians, especially Kim, do a lot for publicity, so I'm not sure what her motives were. I do think that President Trump does a lot of things for publicity as well, and he uses Twitter to do that. It's just, that's his microphone. Well, what do you think of this idea? What if he pulled in Kim Kardashian because he knew the click rate was going to go through the roof.
Lots of people are trying to say, what was her motive? It was a win-win for everyone. It was a win-win for everyone.
But they came together on a win for everybody. I'm happy that this woman is with her family. I feel like if they really wanted to have a serious conversation on criminal justice reform, Kim should have brought in a real champion of criminal justice reform.
It wasn't just her. She had a team of people, and I'll have to look it up for sure.
But she didn't you better support.
Listen, I'm always here for the Kardashians because I think they're smart business people.
Very smart.
I think that they are genius at what they've done. You may not respect them, you may not love the selfies, you may not do all of this, but they have our attention. And she was able to do something for this one family she felt passionate about. I think if we feel passionate about something as individuals, I don't care if you're a celebrity or you're whoever, I think that you should hit the ground running and do what you need to do to make that happen. And if it comes out to be successful for someone whose story you truly, authentically believe in, then that's a win. I just think about having people in my family who have gone off to jail before, and that pain you feel as a family because you always want to know that they're this was a good person. They maybe they've served 21 years, but they deserve a second chance at life. You hope that one day you see them come home, and at her age to be a great grandmother, and she was doing well in jail when she was incarcerated. She'd become a minister. She'd become an advocate for women's rights, for apparently, according to reports, for different women within the jail. I mean, how much do you have to fight for a second chance at life?
I just don't know how Kim Kardashian found out about this in the first place. That's what I want to know, and a lot of people on social media
she
are
saw a
asking,
video on Mike, which is a publication, and then she said it stuck with her for the past couple of years.
I'm okay. I'll give her that. I'm gonna let you change my mind about Kim on this one.
On this one.
Why not use your celebrity for something bigger, like Hurricane Maria and the people in Puerto Rico? Why help one family? This is what people are saying. Why help one family and not thousands of families?
Well, that's helping thousands of feelings. I think to help one family and to help, there are a lot of big issues in this country.
You've convinced me, girlfriend.
I got you.
You got one. You got one.
Thanks for watching us here on the ABC 10 Information Network. If you want to see more stories just like this one, click subscribe.